YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Jason from the Lock Talk. We're back for another NBA Game Day breakdown for March 17th, 2025. Hey, if you've been enjoying this type of content, man, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button and leave a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Man, we've been absolutely crushing it. And yesterday, if you tapped in, you guys swept with me. I had Donovan clinging over 9.5 rebounds. I also had Cam Johnson from the Nets over 27.5 PRA. They both blew it out the water, made it basically sweat-free. So we're off on an insane week, bro. I was up over 9 units. I had a 4-0 day in UFC on Saturday and was crushing NBA. I had 2 back-to-back sweeps. So, hey, man, let's keep it going, guys, and let's go keep on crushing the books. I'm going to go through every single game on the board today for the NBA. And, guys, if you have any questions, as always, make sure you put it in the comments. I want to know what you guys like, what games you're looking at, and what type of content you want to see more of. We've been absolutely killing the props in particular. I've been on absolute fire. I mean, props are one of my best things in NBA. And I'm looking to start a DFS or player prop parlay group as a part of my service and things like that. So if you are interested in something like this, please let me know. I'm more happy to kind of help you guys out and get you guys started on that. But if anything, man, let's start talking about these games right now. We have a bunch of games on the board. We have 10 games on the slate. So let's get started. And the first game I do see is my team, bro, the New York Knicks against the Miami Heat. So the current situation of this game is really that, look, Miami, they have a chance to get into the play-in. They're not out of reach yet. The Knicks are basically, I think, number 2, or they're in the top 3. So they definitely want to they maintain their spot. So both teams have motivation to win. It's not like any of these teams want to tank yet, especially the Knicks. Knicks are in the playoffs, so they definitely want to do something in order to keep it going. Other than that, I will say, I don't know. I mean, the Knicks been playing a lot better. They're now top 3 in defense. I remember there was a point, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, where I was saying the Knicks defense has not been up to par. I think it's because Cat's back, and then they have OG back, and Hart's playing. They are missing Brunson, which is a huge injury. But other than that, I think the Knicks are definitely the much better team so far. Miami, Andrew Wiggins is a game-time decision, so we'll see if he ends up playing. But I think all in all, I do think Knicks have been playing much better. The one thing about the Miami Heat that's been, I guess, disappointing is that their defense has definitely fallen off. Bottom quartile in defense, and they're one of the worst offenses in the last few weeks. I think matchup-wise, I do think the Knicks are the much better team. I think they have the better matchup. They've been playing much better, both offensively and defensively, and I think they get a win and cover here. I mean, this is a lot of points, but I mean, just in the current form the Miami have been playing has not been good. I mean, they haven't covered, I believe, any of their spreads, but neither have the Knicks, so both teams have not been good at covering so far, but I do think the Knicks have a mismatch in this one. I think they're the much better team, but hey, look, I'll be honest, both teams have not been good at covering. I actually do think player props are a little bit better in this game. Knicks and Miami do play at a pretty slow pace, but there was one point where the Knicks were actually playing at a very, very, very fast pace. So we'll see. Maybe this game goes a lot slower than what we think. But as of right now, as far as I see right now, I'm kind of leaning with the Knicks, but not my favorite game on the board. I do think there's some good spots for some of these props, though. So just definitely be aware for that. All right, let's talk about this next game. And this one is another good one, but obviously there's different motivations for both teams in this one, in my opinion. So talking about the Pistons and the New Orleans Pelicans, Pistons are 7.5-point favorites. And this is crazy because last year I think they were like, if not one of the worst teams in NBA record-wise. But I told you guys, man, they're a young, scrappy team. And now they are in the playoff picture. I believe if they can continue winning, they won't have to be like in the play-in tournament, but I mean, they definitely got to keep on winning. On the other side, Pelicans, a much different story. They're 18-50, so they're basically out of it. They're not, I guess they're kind of tanking, I don't know, but looks like, I believe Zion, he's a game-time decision for personal reasons, which I don't know what the hell that means, but he may not play. Kelly Olynyk may not play. Yves Missi may not play, so it's definitely some big dudes missing on this team for rebounding, points, inside presence, which is not good in my opinion. But other than that, I mean, look, I think the Detroit Pistons are a much better team, but I think bar none, they're the much better team. They have everyone playing. The only guy that's out, and he's out for the entire season, is Jaden Ivey. And yeah, I mean, I don't think the Pelicans have really much to offer them offensively, defensively. Pistons are one of the top defenses in the league, top 10, top 5, depending on how you want to look at it. So even offensively, I think also the Pistons are the much better team, bro. So I don't know. There's no real, I want to maybe try to spin in some way, maybe to kind of support the New Orleans Pelicans, but I mean, there's nothing I really want to do. You want to take a look at maybe how they've been covering. Look, like Detroit didn't have a good show against OKC, and a lot of people were trying to be cute and be with Detroit because they said OKC doesn't need to win games, etc. But Kate Cunningham had a lapse of I guess composure, got the attack, got injected out of the game, and they ended up getting blown out. Well, not blown out, but they ended up losing that game. I don't know if I don't think they covered that game. But Pelicans on the other side, they've been beating on covering in some good teams though. But if Zion, Olynyk, and Misu all don't play, I mean, this team is super thin. Detroit can definitely blow these guys out. So I'll take Detroit in this game. I think they're the much better team. I think they're better 7.5-point favorites than the Knicks are against the Heat. But obviously, it all depends on the injury report. Like, if the Heat don't have Wiggins, guys like that, I mean, that's not good either. But definitely more motivation for the Heat to win than the Pelicans. All right, next game on the board. There's one team that's clearly tanking, the Philadelphia 76ers against the Houston Rockets. And look, I said it, bro. I've been saying it multiple weeks. Once Van Fleet comes back, this team will be back to full form. And Houston has definitely done that. They are the #1 defense in the league in the last 5 games. So I think, this is a big, big blowout potential game. So if you want to bet props, definitely be careful because it's definitely a good chance that the Houston Rockets can totally shut down the Sixers, both offensively and defensively. So, I mean, I think Houston can definitely pick their number in this game. Am I going to bet this game? Probably not. Even props, it's a little scary because there's definitely super high blowout potential. Just look at the spread, 15.5 points. Even this total is pretty low, but I mean, Houston Rockets, insanely good defense, slow pace. I mean, they have pretty much almost everyone playing. The only guy that's out is Amen Thompson. He's going to be out for a while. Paul George, supposed game time decision. I don't know if he's going to, I don't think he's playing though. But pretty much they're going with not even their B squad. They're going with their C squad in this one. So give me the Houston Rockets at all those points. I mean, do I love laying these points? Am I probably going to bet this game? Probably not. But that's where I would lean in this one. I think Houston Rockets can beat them everywhere, especially shutting down the Sixers' very, very weak offense. All right, next game on the board. This is a much better game in my opinion, but obviously definitely be careful with this one. We have the Indiana Pacers against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But before I do talk about, I think this is probably the most competitive game, even though the spreads are this big. I do want to talk about this really quick. And this is, if you guys do want to get into with all our picks, you see me post results on my Instagram or even on my YouTube, Twitter, etc. You want to join me in my chat so you guys get every single play I'm betting and giving out to my clients. Join us in premium. And you have one way to join for completely free, multiple ways. Go to the pinned comment or description. I have a list of where you can get all the plays, all the promos. You get 50% deposit discounts or get promos on your deposits using my special links with my partners. And NOVIG is one of the new books that has reduced juice on all their lines, bro, because it's peer-to-peer. And they also have a marketplace where even if you post a bet, they will fill it themselves. So it's pretty good. This is one example from a long time ago. And I compared NOVIG to FanDuel, and look, FanDuel -5, -4.5, even the money lines, right? If you wanted to bet Denver, for example, you get 7 points less on Denver money line versus the Pacers. So this is an example from a long time ago. It's only getting better and better as more people get on this book and there's more activity. So even if you're a big bettor, they don't want to shut you down. And if you're winning, they don't want to shut you down because it's peer-to-peer. The books are not affected by you winning or by you posting a lot of volume. They welcome actually a lot of action. So if you're a good bettor and you want to get in for a free week and get my picks, definitely get on NOVIG. Use code LOCK, LOCK, all in caps, and you'll get 50% off your first deposit. Definitely try them out. All right, guys, but now let's get back into it. Let's talk about the Timberwolves, man, and the Pacers. Timberwolves just played last night, and they blew the freaking goddamn, the Chaz out the water, man. Anthony Edwards had an incredible game. They played in Minnesota, so it wasn't a back-to-back with travel. Indiana did not play the other night. But they do have some injuries, though. The Pacers, Siakam looks to be out for personal reasons. I don't know what the hell that means, but I hope everything's okay. Neesmith, game time decision. I believe all these guys probably should pay, but obviously, Siakam, him being out is big, bro. He's one of their best players, but they do have some other guys that can fill the void, in my opinion, but obviously not completely. He's definitely one of their best players. But Minnesota, bro, look, I'll say this. They've been pretty unreliable in big spreads, especially the Pacers team, who was not too bad. Overall, when it's been back-to-back games, this one's actually been okay. 60% cover rate. Indiana's not playing a back-to-back, so you don't have to worry about that. But overall, The Pacers have been doing okay covering, but not as of late, man. I mean, they've been probably one of the worst covering teams in the NBA. Last few games, I think way losing actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think this 6 games. I think they're 1-5 in their last 6 games covering, and missing Pascal Siakam is definitely huge. Overall, the one thing you do want to see, in my opinion, is kind of defense, and Minnesota's defense has definitely stepped it back up ever since getting Randall and Gobert back. So that's huge, man. I don't know, man. Look, I mean, Pacers defense has also not been that great. They've been league average. Beginning of the year, they were one of the top defenses and offenses in the league. In terms of offense, though, I mean, Minnesota's also stepped it up in that factor as well. They're top 3, top 5 right now in offense and defense. So they're kind of like in their old form. Top defense, top offense. And Indiana Pacers have been league average. So I think the spread's justified. I don't think it's, there's no sharp way to look at it. I do think maybe the Pacers, they can possibly keep it close. I mean, I've seen it many times when Timberwolves, when they're supposed to win, you have your expectations high, they constantly disappoint you. But I do think the ratings, it makes sense for this spread to be 7.5 points. I think overall, Minnesota's been playing the better ball. They're more healthy. They're playing better offense and defense. Yeah, I mean, I have this game to see capped around a 7-point game. So I think it's totally justified, bro. So if you guys do want to bet on this game, yeah, I think Minnesota can cover this game even on the back-to-back. I think if they continue to do well and stay at this pace that they've been playing, I think this can be they can continue maybe a mini run, man. We'll see. Overall, it looks like a lot of people are on the Pacers, though, getting the points, but it's pretty much even, man. It's nothing big. So yeah, give me the Timberwolves minus 7.5. I think they can cover this game, and I think Anthony Edwards can possibly set a good pace and maybe hopefully continue his good run off that big game against the Jazz. But the Jazz, they're another tanking team for sure. All right, next game on the board, and this one's interesting because I just talked about the Jazz and the Bulls, bro. Let me say this: the Bulls have been the best covering team in the league, bro. I mean, they have been on absolute fire, bro. If you take a look, their last 5 games, all covers and against good teams, and they've been winning against some of these teams outright. Pacers, they beat Miami. I mean, some people don't consider the Orlando Magic good anymore, but I say they're good. And they covered against the Houston Rockets as well. So, I mean, kept it very competitive, almost won that game. So the Bulls have been on a different level, even though they basically have almost nobody. Kobe White, Vucevic. This team has been incredible. A lot of people are all over the Bulls, though. I mean, people are definitely down in the Jazz, but for good reason, man. You know why? Because you don't know any day who's going to play for this Jazz team, bro. I mean, the Jazz right now, Clarkson, Keontae Jordan, all these guys are all game time decisions. So it's even tough for me to be like, okay, who are we going to go with? Bulls have not been favorites at all in any of their games. So this will be one of the few games that they are favorites. But so far, this is who I see on the lineup. Utah, they'll have Collier, Sexton, Cody Williams, Markkanen, and Kessler. They basically find the Utah Jazz for not starting Kessler at all. So, I'm sorry, Markkanen also. I think Markkanen's going to play, even though he might be injured. It's pretty crazy, bro. So, but in any case, I do think the Bulls, I think they have a slight chance to get into the playoffs. So they might be pushing for it, bro. And I think the Bulls are just playing the better ball. Utah on the back-to-back, but they are at home, so they didn't have to travel. And I think this could be a possibly great game for props if you like betting overs. For sure, bro, because, I know you guys don't like betting unders, and this game could be a fast-paced, back-and-forth game with no defense. And the Bulls have been pushing at an insane pace with an insane offense. So I definitely can see a scenario where the Bulls can definitely make it interesting. But I'll say this, though. The Bulls' defense has been top 10 in the league, but they've had a top 5 offense, though. So with that all being said, how do I want to explain this? Yeah, bro. I mean, I like, even though the spread's kind of big, I think for the Bulls, given, they have not been looked upon as a top team. They've been a covering machine, bro. But usually as dogs, so I'll be a little bit careful. But props for sure. Look at this game. It's going to be a fast-paced, high-scoring, back-and-forth game. Utah Jazz and Bulls play at the top 5 fastest pace in the league. And I think they continue this today, man. So, but if I had to pick a side, give me the Bulls minus 5.5. But I like props way more, man. I mean, I think these guys would be chucking it up, bro. So this will be an exciting game. All right, let's see. Next game on the board, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more games left, and that's it. So we're halfway there. Let's talk about this game, a big West Coast game. But the Memphis Grizzlies against the Sacramento Kings. And look, I'm going to say it again, bro. I'm going to say it again. I said it many, many times, bro. I've said it many times. The Memphis Grizzlies can win games without John Morant, bro. It's been like this for multiple years. This is not a secret. In years where John Morant has not played, the Memphis Grizzlies defense has actually stepped it up. And they got Jaren Jackson Jr. back. So I actually think the Memphis Grizzlies can play better without John Morant in some aspects. Of course, they love him for the offense. We love him as, being a entertaining player. But Memphis Grizzlies, top 10 in defense, and I don't think it's a mistake. Jaren Jackson's back, and John Morant's been out for the last few games. But even so, the Kings have definitely stepped down. They were at one point the best team in the NBA, and now definitely taking a step back. But, I mean, they don't have any major injuries. The Grizzlies are also, at the same time, they do have some injuries that we have to look at. Scottie Pippen's a game time decision. Aldama is out. Zach Edey looks to be playing. So I do think this is going to be a closely contested battle. The biggest thing has been the Grizzlies have not been covering any game except their last game against the Heat, who I've kind of mentioned in that Knicks game, not been playing good at all. They have only covered in, 2 out of their last 10 games. So that's been pretty crazy. Kings, they were on an insane covering streak, then have not covered in their last 3, and they couldn't even cover against the goddamn Suns, who are absolutely terrible on the defensive side. They played no defense. But again, with that being said, I do think this will be a competitive game, a game that could be definitely back and forth. Both teams play at a pretty fast pace. Memphis, not number 1 anymore, but still top 10. And then the Sacramento Kings, have actually stepped down their pace. They're actually bottom quartile in pace. So surprising to me, especially because Monk is playing. Monk plays at a pretty fast pace, but we'll see how this game goes in terms of where the money's been at so far. Looks like a lot of people are on the Kings, bro. Public money is heavily on the Kings right now. And I guess that kind of makes sense. People are definitely down on the Grizzlies in terms of their covering streak. Been one of the worst covering teams in the NBA. If you've been betting the Grizzlies in the last 10 at the spread, you've been going absolutely broke. But I think they have a good matchup here. I think they can cover against the Kings. I do like props in this game. And there's some good matchups both on the guard and power forward side and the center side. So give me the Grizzlies. Kings will probably have some bonus back, but I don't think that matters to me too much. I do like this game for the Grizzlies. Give me the plus 2.5, getting the points. And I think in the game that's truly 50-50. And all right, next game on the board. This is going to be an interesting one because we have the Toronto Raptors against the Phoenix Suns, bro. And Toronto, man, they do have some injuries that we have to be a little bit concerned about because RJ Barrett may not play. Grady Dick, he's out. Emmanuel Quickly is a game time decision, but I do think he plays. And it looks like, man, a lot of people are on the Toronto Raptors, even though they just played a back-to-back last night against Portland in Portland. Utah Jazz, on the other side, did play a back-to-back in LA, so both teams will be traveling. And the trend has been Phoenix, worst covering team at home and terrible on back-to-backs. And everyone and their mother is on the Toronto Raptors getting the points. I don't know, man. I do think, though, however, let's see. I mean, I like Toronto, man. I think even though the public's all over them, if RJ Barrett and Quickly play, which it seems like one of them will not play, I think Toronto can definitely do some work on this game because Phoenix Suns don't have the inside presence to give, this Toronto team some problems, though. But, however, I do think Toronto can be competitive in this game, and I like the Toronto Raptors here getting all these points. But obviously, the injury report be the biggest thing in this game on a back-to-back for both teams, so definitely be careful. But if it's at 8.5 or 9, I like the Raptors for sure in this game and in this spot. Let's talk about the next game, bro. And this one is a big West Coast game. We have the Denver Nuggets against the Golden State Warriors. Denver Nuggets getting 4.5 points on the road. And that's because there's a lot of injuries. Game time decision. Murray game time decision. Aaron Gordon game time decision. Even Bron. So we'll see who plays. Steph Curry's a game time decision and post. But I think Curry's going to play. Look, man, the Nuggets have been a great team so far. I know for sure, I'm pretty sure that Gordon's not going to play, but I think Jokic will play. And I think Jokic is actually going to, if the Nuggets want to win, he's going to have to take over this game. And he definitely can, bro. He has the size. He's going to be able to get points, rebounds, assists, everything in the sort. And I think this game's a lot closer than what people think. Curry will probably have a good game as well if he plays, which I think he does play. But look, the Denver Nuggets have not been covering to 2-8 in their last 10. Warriors have been playing a little bit better. I think they're 56% so far over the last 10 games. Been playing much, much better. But I do think the Denver Nuggets do have a shot to keep this game competitive if a lot of these guys do play, like Braun, Jokic, obviously Murray. Even without Aaron Gordon, I like the Denver Nuggets at the spread. I think this game is more 50-50 than what the line implies. So far, man, it looks like the public's a little bit on the Denver side, getting the points. And I'm with them, man. I think Denver Nuggets, even though their defense has not been as elite as the Warriors, and their three-point defense has not been as elite, I do think there's a mismatch on the sides with their best player in Jokic, and I think he can take this game over. Give me the Denver Nuggets getting the points in this game. All right, guys, I think we're up to the last game on the board. Let's get it going. San Antonio Spurs against the Los Angeles Lakers. Spurs, man, definitely, I mean, I think they have a slight chance to maybe make the playoffs. But let's see, man. Lakers, obviously, they're on the back-to-back. They just played last night and blew the goddamn Phoenix Suns out the water, in my opinion. You win by more than 10 points. That's a blowout, in my opinion. But in any case, we'll see who ends up playing because there is an injury report with, pretty sure, Luka and possibly Reeves may be on that injury report. Rui Hachimura supposedly game time decision. If he plays, that's huge. Spurs, they're not going to have still Wembanyama. Obviously, Fox is out for the season as well. But and definitely be careful in this game. Spurs, still one of the weakest defenses in the league. They leave a lot of points up in the paint. And that's an area where the Lakers can definitely attack. They love to attack. So I think this spread is justified even on a game time decision. They're not traveling. They're at home. Spurs, I mean, they've been okay. They've been competitive in some of these games, but I definitely think the Lakers are at a different level as of late, at least. But so far in the last 10 games, been covering a much higher rate, 67%, just as a trend. Spurs, much, much worse. And I think the spread is justified. I think the Lakers have been playing the much better ball. They're able to exploit the Spurs' weakness, which is points in the paint. And they're deep. And I don't think they have an offense that can stack up with the Lakers' defense, which has been actually fairly good. They were more elite when LeBron was playing, but we'll see, man. Again, give me the Lakers 8.5 points. That's my last pick on the game for this one. I think there's a good matchup for both Luka and Reeves, but it depends who ends up starting and playing. Obviously, pay attention to that injury report. You don't know who's 100% playing yet this early. So if you do want to know, definitely keep up with me. My Telegram or my Twitter, post some updates there. But in any case, man, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.